Hello everyone. Thanks for spotting my last video that is on most common welding defects. So now I have prepared another video that will be on MIG and MAG welding in detail. So let us start MIG and MAG welding. So what are the topics covered today? Introduction to MIG MAG welding, difference between MIG and MAG welding, MIG MAG welding electrodes, type of metal transfer modes, process control parameters, type of shielding gases, advantages and disadvantages. So introduction to MIG and MAG welding. So here you can see the diagram. There is a torch nozzle and there is a contact tube. Shielding gas flow is there inside this nozzle. There is a consumable electrode. This is the protective shielding gas which is used in MIG MAG welding. This is a solidified weld metal that has been solidified. This is the molten weld pool. This is our arc. So MIG MAG welding process is a versatile welding process suitable for most of the metallic materials for thin section to thick sections. It uses a consumable electrode wire which is when fed through a contact tube picks up the current supply and strike with the base metal producing an arc which melts both electrode and parent metal to form a weld pool. Shielding gas is selected on the basis of the material to be welded and is fed through the nozzle which protects the weld pool from atmospheric gases. It is also known as gas metal arc welding GMAW. Generally, MIG-MAG welding process is considered a semi-automatic process because wire feed rate and arc length are controlled by the power source, but the travel speed and wire position are under manual control of welder. It can be mechanized by providing control on welding machine parameter, but still some manual interventions like guiding the welding head and arc voltage. Some setup are called automatic when there is no human control over the machine and welding parameters adjustments when welding. This process operates on DCEP, that is direct current electrode positive or reverse polarity, and power source of constant voltage flat characteristics. So what is the difference between MIG and MAG? So many of the engineers working in the fabrication industry, they are not aware about MIG and MAG. So when we going to ask a question about MIG and MAG, so they simply don't know. So today I will be just brief you about the major difference between these two MIG and MAG welding. There are following differences between MIG and MAG welding. MIG. MIG stands for metal inert gas. Here only 100% inert gas shielding is used. For example, 100% argon. MAG stand for metal active gas. Here a mixture of inert plus active shielding gas or 100% active shielding gas is used. For example, 80% argon plus 20% CO2 or 100% CO2. So this is the main difference between MIG and MAG welding. So MIG and MAG welding electrode. The welding electrode is supplied in the form of wire wrapped on a plastic spool. The wire spool is mounted on the feed unit and wire is pulled from the wire spool by pinch rollers. Then it is pushed through liners and contact tip smoothly. Carbon manganese electrode filler wire are copper coated to enable better current pickup, smooth wire feeding, better corrosion resistance of wire and less contact tip wear. So this is the main function of the copper coating. When we see the wire spool, there is some copper coating is there. So many of us don't know about this copper coating, why it is done, what is the purpose of this. So this is the very main point. So let's move further. General carbon manganese wire designation is ER70S6. So we will be dividing it how each letter stand for what. ER. ER indicate that the filler metal may be used either as an electrode or a rod. 70 indicates a minimum tensile strength of 70,000 psi pound square per inch of a weld metal. S designates a solid electrode. 6 indicates the chemical composition of a solid wire. Types of the metal transfer mode. So friends, this is the very important topic. Types of the metal transfer mode. It occurs in MIG and MAG welding. So let us discuss. So for the metal transfer modes to occur, there is some requirements like we need some certain voltage, some certain current. So there may be some value of current and voltage at which we will be achieving this mode of metal transfers. So the first one is to discuss spray transfer, and the next one is globular transfer, and the next is dip transfer. So if you see globular transfer, it is between the spray, it is a stage between the spray and dip transfer. So this is the transition region. So in the next slide we will be discussing in detail about each metal transfer mode. So let us move. Spray transfer. So what will be there in the spray transfer? You can see from the image there is a welding electrode and some welding droplets are coming out of electrode. So what is the main characteristics of spray transfer? Droplet size is less than the electrode dia, you can see from the image. With argon shielding, spray transfer occurs when current is more than 250 ampere and voltage is more than 25 volt. So this is the primary requirement. High welding deposition rate is there. High heat input process used in welding in flat position, suitable for higher thickness steel welding. When CO2 level is more than 20%, then spray transfer cannot be achieved. Metal transfer in a free flight manner. So there are two conditions as I told you earlier. We need current value more than 250 ampere and voltage value more than 25 volt, and CO2 level should not exceed more than 20% for the spray transfer to occur. Globular transfer. So what is globular transfer? You can see from the image here the droplet size is more than the electrode dia. It is clear from the picture. In globular transfer, a molten droplet form on the wire tip. This is formed earlier on the wire tip, and gravity eventually detaches the droplet when its weight overcomes surface tension forces. So this is the mechanism. This is medium weld deposition rate in this transfer mode. Medium heat input is there, used in welding flat position. This is used in flat welding position. Suitable for medium thickness steel welding. Metal transfer in a irregular manner. Spatter level is more. So in this mode of metal transfer, the spatter level will be more. Dip transfer. So what is there in the dip transfer? Metal is transferred by short circuiting or wire dipping into the weld pool. As you can see from the picture, in dip transfer, a molten droplet forms on the wire tip, contacts with the molten pool before detaching it from the electrode. It contacts with the molten metal pool. You can see from the picture, it is in contact with the molten metal pool before detaching to the weld metal. So there will be low weld deposition rate, low heat input, risk of lack of fusion because there is a low heat input. Suitable for lower thickness steel welding. Metal transfer in a irregular manner, spatter level is more. It occurs with lower current and voltage values. Pulse transfer. Pulse transfer is a development of spray transfer. Droplet transfer is in a free flight manner. It is a low heat input and low spatter level process suitable for position welding. Suppose we have to weld in overhead position, then we have to choose this process. We can easily weld with pulse welding process. Good fusion and productivity used to weld lower thickness. So what are the process control parameter in MIG welding? First one is wire feed speed, amperage, welding voltage, gas type and flow rate, contact tip size and condition, roller type, size and pressure. This roller is for feeding the wire, liner size, liner in which the wire is feeding to the work, cast dia and helix angle. This cast dia belongs to the wire and helix angle also belongs to the wire. So when we cut some certain length of the wire from the wire spool, it will be making a dia. So we have to measure that dia, that is called cast dia, and when it is left on the ground, it will be making an angle, so that is called helix angle. So in ASME codes, some certain values are given so that we can check this cast dia and helix angle, travel speed, direction and electrode angle. Types of shielding gases that are used in MIG welding. 100% inner shielding gas we can use like argon and helium must be used for the non-ferrous metal and their alloys like aluminum, copper, nickel, titanium, etc. 100% CO2 results in an unstable arc and lots of spatters but gives deeper penetration. CO2 gives deep penetration but spatter will be more. 100% argon gives finger shape like penetration, but when used with helium gives deep and wider penetration. Argon plus 15 to 20% CO2 here. Argon gives better arc stability and CO2 gives good penetration. CO2 with little spatters. CO2, as earlier I have told, is a deep penetration process. It will give deeper penetration. This mixture is widely used for carbon steel and some low alloy steels. As argon is 1.4 times heavier than air, so suitable for welding in flat position as it helps in displacing the air. So what are the advantages and disadvantages? Advantages: this process can be easily automated. It gives higher productivity and better penetration. Continuously fed electrode is there. No need to change the electrode like in SMAW. All position welding. Lower hydrogen welding process gives good quality of weld. So the lower the hydrogen, lower the chances of HICC, hydrogen induced cold cracking. And it can be used with robotic welding. For example, in automobile industry it can be used with the robots. And what are the disadvantages? There is a risk of lack of fusion when we will be using dip transfer mode. Complexity of the equipment setup, higher ozone levels, shielding for site welding work. When we will be welding in the site, open sites area, so there will be wind, so there is a chances of some porosities like defects. So thank you guys for watching my video and supporting me. Please keep sharing and supporting me. If you have any question, you can comment me. Thank you.